In this series of videos, I'm going to cover what to expect when ordering a custom built PC from Overclockers UK. Now, I've already just ordered a sub £1,000 PC for a student. It's a 15-year-old student that they can use for work and some gaming, and these are the specs. It cost just under £1,000, £975, including £14 for postage. So I'll take you through the specs of this machine, and in the videos to come we'll cover what to expect in terms of delivery, build quality, reliability, benchmarking. I'm going to cover everything once it's been delivered. But for now, let's go through the specs of a £1,000 computer. This is the system as it currently stands. You got the Asus ROG Strix B450 gaming motherboard, just a cheap motherboard. You got the AMD 3600X processor, and it's currently just gone out of stock. Now, one thing I should mention, it took me nearly 2 weeks to order this computer because components would come and go out of stock. It'd be a power supply, a CPU cooler, hard drives. Just randomly things would go out of stock, so we'd be unable to get built. But finally everything was in stock, and I went ahead and ordered it. And now, just looking at a day after I ordered it, the 3600X is now out of stock. And this is the build I'm using. Although there's not much difference between well, that's out of stock as well, 3600. And it's quite a bit of a jump to 3700X. There's not much difference between these two, maybe 3%, 4% in performance, but I prefer the 3600X because it's newer silicon, so it should be more reliable, last longer. So that's the processor, 3600X. Memory, 16 gigabytes, 3000 megahertz. It offers scope to upgrade later to 32 gigabyte. So starting with 16 gigabyte, which should be enough. And if the student does memory intensive tasks such as rendering videos, then you could upgrade it to easily to 32 gigabytes. But for now, 16 gigabytes is enough. And I'm going for the 1650 GTX card, which is at the bottom end of the range. Asus, which is a good make. I don't like palettes, so I didn't go for the 1660, which would probably perform by about 20% better. Because I wouldn't have got a palette, I would have gone for Asus. That's £110 more. I think that's about double the price. That's why I'm going with 1650. If in the future the student wants to upgrade, they can upgrade the graphics card all the way to a 2070 Super. But for now, it's not worth spending that much. 1650 is good enough for it, for this what the student will be using. You can play some games. 4 gigabytes is enough. You know, it's not that bad. It's a good starter graphics card. Now, this is one that was continuously out of stock. It was the heat sinks for the CPU, the coolers. In fact, for a while, the only cooler in stock was this Cooler Master liquid cooler. But the problem is very bad reviews for this cooler. That after a few months, it tended to leak, and I could have paid, say, £30, well, £50 more for a more expensive cooler, which was also in stock, but that bumps up the price too much. But finally, the cooler that I was after, the bottom end, was in stock. Anyway, what happened to the box coolers? What's Overclockers done with the box coolers? Don't they get them? You know, the box cooler would have been good enough for the 3600X. After all, the student's not going to overclock it. Anyway, as you can see, some coolers are out of stock. They don't make much difference. But the one I got, it finally came in stock. This was the main item that was continuously, all of these were out of stock. Only the this one was in stock than this one, but it's too much of a price jump. £56. So next was the hard drive, which is just standard Samsung Evo 500GB for the operating system. As you can see, most of the hard drives remained in stock. The next was another standard, which is the data drive Barracuda. Just 1TB, it's enough for a student. You can always plug in another hard drive if they need more space. Now this was another item that tended to go out of stock, which is the power supplies. Originally I wanted this one, the 1000 watt Coolink, but it's, as you can see, it's never been in stock. And the only one that was in stock was, where is it? The Corsair 850, where is it? Expensive. I think it was this one. At £65 more. But eventually this one came in stock, which is still in stock, the 1650 watt. Which is okay. It's not the one that I wanted, but I'll still be waiting for that. So I paid an extra £25 for the power supply when it came in stock. Apart from that, this one was in stock. It was an extra £70, which I didn't want. So that's fine. It'll do under these circumstances when things go out of stock. So that's the power supply. 650 watts should be good enough. Then you got Windows Home and you got this antivirus garbage. Well, I put it on. I would use something like Kaspersky, but they're offering it, I think, for about £5 for 1 year. That's not too bad. Kaspersky costs about, I think, £12 for 1 year. So maybe after the first year I'll install Kaspersky on the student's PC. That's probably better. And that's it, and it's 10 to 15 days working days for the build. So we'll see what happens during the course of this build. Like I say, the 3600X has already gone out of stock, and it was in stock when I ordered it. So hopefully they're not going to send me an email saying the items has now gone out of stock, because everything on this list here was in stock. Now the order value here is, I think, £961. So what is the current? So it's gone down about £3. Price has gone down about £3. Also the case is a Aerocool Cylon RGB MIDI tower black. Same case as what's on the spec. Where is it? The case out there, shard black. So it's gone down about £4. The cost has gone down £4 since I ordered it. But the main difference is that now the CPU's out of stock. 3600X, you'd have to go, well, you can't even go with 3600. That's out of stock. You'd have to go with either the 3700X or the last gen. So you'd have to go with the 3700X, which will bump it up to over 1,000. And I really want to keep the cost to below 1,000 for the student. So that's the specs of the PC I've ordered from Overclockers UK on the 1st of July 2020, and we'll see what happens as we wait for it to be delivered, and then we can test it to see, you know, how good their build quality is, components. Does it overheat? How does it benchmark on Cinebench? Things like that. Just generally how good it is out of the box, without any fiddling with any of the settings. Does it overheat? Things like that. It shouldn't. But we'll take it through its paces to see what happens when you order a PC for about £1,000 from Overclockers UK. Let's see when it gets delivered.